barking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
It is the Monday edition of the program. Hope you had a good weekend. Wherever you might be, hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Also on the Professional Door Incorporated text line, 391-0788. Good morning, Prometheus. Good morning, Markin. Thank you. Nate, hello. Subscribe, like, and share. Good morning, Broski. Broski Doodle. Coming off the weekend, July 4th week here. America about to celebrate birthday number 250. Yes, it is 250. Man.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no! That was out of nowhere.
It really was. It really was. Thanks to everybody. We had a really fun time on Friday. We did our second Big Dog Pop. I think I'll do one this Thursday. But we did, so started using shorts from the shows, and we've had over 3,500 views of all the shorts. David Mabry, the coach, stopped by, and Morris. It was a lot of fun. So we appreciate that. And we talked about all sorts of stuff. It's really good. It's really good. What's up, Vernon? Hello. Good morning. Today, we've got Coach Elmo and Brian Steinspring, the head football coach at Roanoke College, on together in hour two. How about that? Todd Grantham is vacating this week. He's at the lake house. We'll get him on Wednesday instead of today. So that's our adjustment today, but it'll be great to have Coach Elmo and Coach Steiny on together. And I'm sure we'll be talking about those mid-90 Virginia Tech build teams and so forth. In a lot of ways, we're going back to the to that time now with Tech football and where they stand, trying to recreate success. Then they were just trying to create success, right, as a whole, under Coach Beamer to save his job and to placate David Breen's belief in Coach Beamer. Now it's the same thing. Like, where have you gone, Virginia Tech football and your brand? Well, maybe now it's going to start its way back. We shall see. Very similar times. But we'll let those two guys just cook and have a good time here today. Coming off the weekend, I got to be honest, I'm very appreciative of what the World Cup means to the world, because that's why it's called the World Cup. And the fact that it's happening here, is it wrong that I'm more happy that it's bringing awareness to the complete hypocrisy of the NFL and the owners for not putting grass in for our American football players? I see these beautiful fields that they're flying over and implementing, and I'm just shaking my head, man. Just shaking my head. From the Delaware River in 1776, where Virginian George took his ragtag army across liberty or death, was the only cry they had to encourage their cross. Talk about patriotic gloss. What's up, Morris? What's up, Ray? Yeah, let's think about that for me. Let's say they were building and they won the Sugar Bowl. And what if that guy's next name wasn't Michael Vick? What if Michael Vick had gone to Syracuse, which we've heard Dwight talk about how really close it was? Donovan McNabb, the whole lineage of that type of quarterback, Paul Pasqualoni, that's where it looked like he was headed. Just imagine. So it's interesting the way fate plays its part. And I agree. I mean, Tech may have had success, but it wouldn't have been the national success. And no, I don't believe they get close to a national championship game appearance without that guy. No question. Hey, good morning, Brian. Wouldn't it be nice, he says, if the next decade of Tech football was like the mid-90s to mid-2000s? Yeah, I don't know if a decade, that's a good point. And here's another question for everybody. Can a decade be maintained any longer? All new folks, welcome, by the way. Please share, subscribe, like. Can you even think about the big programs? Ohio State, there's certain ones that stay up there. Alabama's kind of, I won't say they've fallen off a cliff, but they're no longer Alabama in the minds of many people, because you lost that guy, the Mount Rushmore of coaches, right? You lost that face and that presence. So it doesn't feel the same when you see Alabama in that uniform. It just doesn't feel the same. And they have fallen. You know, I don't foresee Indiana being a decade. I might be wrong. Michigan hasn't been able. You think about the programs, even the SEC, Georgia might be the closest thing. LSU hasn't. I wonder if we just have to focus on the way things are set up today with the money and all the. I wonder if we just have to focus on 3 to 5 years as being okay. If you can string together that, maybe. Yeah, Oregon's good every year, but I don't know if they're national. Maybe they are. They were in the playoff. They've kind of been, well, they've had their own money. They've been able to print Nike money for such a long time. And I think Dan Lanning's a good coach. You know, obviously he's done a nice job. But there's very few, right? There's very few that have that decade-long presence that continue. Like you used to be able to pencil in programs for a decade. I don't know if you can do that now. Maybe you can find like 5 programs, you think? Morris says Tech had the best chance to win a night in 2008. At BC on the ropes, Matt Ryan on his ass. Everybody in front of us lost. Defense blew it. Yep, the collapse in the end. They did. He did. But we'll see how this build goes. We don't know. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of hope, and Tech fan has not had a lot of hope for a long time. So many bad decisions have been made over there. The one thing I do get tired of hearing about is all these great coaches that have been hired in other sports that don't make money. About Whit Babcock. I was talking over the weekend, talking to a season ticket holder, a guy who's been traveling to some of these functions with James Franklin. And he knows Whit Babcock, so he tries to put him out there in the biggest light. And I just look at him and I'm like, well, let's talk about what Virginia Tech is and what they aren't. Okay. Virginia Tech's not a softball school. Virginia Tech's not a baseball school. I would even go as far to say they're not a wrestling school, even though the wrestling program is strong. What is Virginia Tech? And I would ask him, men's basketball? No. Women's basketball? They went to the Final Four. Does that make them a women's basketball school? And he said, well, no, they're a football school. I said, yes, thank you. Did Whit Babcock serve football positively in any way, shape, or form during his tenure in Blacksburg? And then he would try to say, well, he did this. He Justin Fuente. Okay, that's great. Yeah. Nobody's going to say Justin Fuente was a horrible hire, but did it work out? Did he cultivate the kind of environment that Justin Fuente needed to be successful? Did Justin Fuente come in here, find any humility, right? No, the answer is no. And if you make a good hire on paper and then you don't proceed to either create what that coach needs or that program needs to elevate, was it a successful hire? And the answer is, well, no. What's up, Chris? How are you? So he failed. He failed. And then you double down on it by hearing the noise about what an outsider Justin Fuente was and the arrogance that he brought with him. And then you hire somebody who never, ever should have been a head football coach just because he was familiar with the plays. There were several better options on the table. And you either didn't interview them or you were just focused on it had to be a legacy. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Morris says Foster's great, but messed that one up, in my opinion, 2008 BC. Well, yeah, sometimes you got to tip your hat to the player, too. And Matt Ryan he was a special player. He was a special player. So the Brent Pry era crashed the Virginia Tech football program. There's no other way to say it. And now he's back as one of your coordinators. Honestly, that whole thing gets stranger to me every time I sit down and I try to think about it. It really does. I mean, I hope it works out. I hope. So my point is, no, it wasn't successful because he failed the one sport. And, you look at his lineage of where he was, he didn't do good in football at any place with hires and so forth. And it's great that softball hosted a super regional and baseball hosted a super regional. Women's basketball went to a Final Four. Look how much men's basketball has struggled to keep up, the other revenue sport. Wrestling has been great, but they don't make any money. What are we seeing now about this new hire, Brian White? The only thing that I've seen positive talked about is the fundraising capabilities that he showed at FAU. So it's about money, more money coming in. And we will see. The proof will be in the pudding, as they say. The results will not lie. And then hopefully, every year then you're talking about maybe can they take the next step? Can they get beyond this to go to this instead of what kept them from getting from point A to point B? I think always the crutch of not having money is being very convenient being thrown around across the nation. Right? What's up, Christian? Good morning. I think Tech is playing catch up, and the number one goal should be to win their home games. It's going to take a couple of years to get back to 8 to 10 wins. Good to have you, Christian. Christian Davidson. Good comment. Please subscribe. What's up about religion? And a lot of people have said that. A lot of people say it in chat here, Christian. Yeah, make Lane Stadium a home field advantage again. Establish that. Right? Establish that once again, and then you can move forward. And we'll see if that can take a positive step this year. I mean, the home games that are there, they don't look as daunting, but there are some that could trip them up. The Pitt game in particular. Make that environment around the stadium, make it like it used to be. That's a good point. Yeah. Ramita says money and connection. He's worked with 4 ACCDs. The ACC president used to babysit him. Yeah. Yeah, win at home. Establish the stadium again. I mean, we've had opponents go on record to say that they enjoyed playing in Lane Stadium because the field is in such great shape. They were not worried about the crowd. They all said the same thing. Well, when they come out to their song, it's exciting, but then when you jump on them, take the lead, that crowd kind of gets quiet. And, I think that's because as loyal as Tech fan has been, they probably went to these games and they thought, well, pretty soon we're going to fall behind, and it's kind of hard to keep that enthusiasm. We saw a lot of crowds leave early last year. 3-9 will do that to you. So that's not – I don't even blame the fans for that. I get it. Yeah, that's right. Make it an actual place that is intimidating, not just put it on a T-shirt for merch. I mean, we had conversations last year with, Dwight, even Mike Burnham. It was like, you go through the opening of the song, the guys from Tech Sideline, you go through that and they make sure they show you the open, and yet you go out and you get curb stomped. It's like, okay. Too much reliance on that, especially when they came and played. Metallica was here last summer. But you gotta make sure because it's not the fans' fault. I mean, the fans are there full throat, ready to go nuts. They just have to have a reason to go nuts. And they haven't had that in a long time. A long time. I mean, there's always going to be a game or two that you can single out, that had those old vibes, but create that once again. And it's not just at Tech, right? You have to do that at every stadium. I mean, look at South Carolina. Now, obviously, it's another Tech connection with Shane, but that's a marvelous stadium that has a very passionate fan base, but they don't very often get to make that feel like a home field, right? Or like an intimidating home field. You might for a little while, might be an upset here and there, but it has to be consistent. Morris says, why watch a game in the stadium where you're getting your ass handed to you and you have cold limitations and jambalaya is still warm in the tailgate provisions? It's true. People would go out and just take in the rest of the game out in the parking lot. Burnham talked about that all the time. They would just leave their seats and go out and turn it on and just say, you know what, let's just get back to the tailgate. So that's what you want. You want the tailgate to be kind of like the appetizer, and the game be the main course. And you go back afterwards, and maybe that's your late night snack after the game, right? To tailgate more, especially after a win. You don't want the tailgate to become, okay, well, we always have the tailgate. Let's go. And we'll see if that changes around the way people want, right? We'll see. The jury remains out. We shall see. Christian says it takes being at least 2 deep at every position in order to win consistently, even with all the new players. The O-line, the quarterback position are a concern. I think, I'm telling people, and it's not putting people down. I want to see how the new coaching staff works together with all the new players in the new environment. I want to see how the first-year offensive coordinator works. Everybody can say he was at Penn State, but now you're there. Tech did this before. I want to see if Brent Pry can come back in. He's had to swallow a lot of humility. It's unprecedented what is happening right now with his rehiring. I can't remember it happening anywhere in the same calendar year. Yet that's what James Franklin felt more comfortable with. I just want to see all that come together because Virginia Tech had some good teams and they ended up getting really good players led by, as Prometheus said, Michael Vick. But they developed, man. They had some really terrific coaches on those Frank Beamer staffs. And the longevity because they were so good. Let's see if that can be recreated. We talk about the players a lot, right? We talk about the personnel a lot. Let's focus on the coaches, right? Let's see if we can have coaching become a factor again in these games. It hasn't been in a long, long time. They haven't had good staffs from top to bottom in a long, long time. During this drought, you can talk about the talent drain on the field in terms of the guys wearing the shoulder pads and the helmets. How about the talent drain on the sidelines? How in the world can And I mentioned this to my friend. Like, think about what Babcock allowed Brent Pry to do with his first coaching staff. Joe Rudolph was the only coach that made you go, wow, okay. It's a first-year coordinator on both sides of the ball you're bringing in? Okay. There was no – I mean, as the athletic director, you are able to say, look, you're getting this job, but we need you to do this. This is the kind of experience we would like at the offensive coordinator position, at the defensive coordinator position. No, you're going to hire guys who don't have any experience whatsoever. It's like making a birthday cake, and instead of using, sugar and sweet, you're just putting castor oil in it, baking it up, and then you cut into it and expect it to taste good. Right? I would say that's accurate, at least on paper, Christian. Absolutely. Virginia Tech staff is mid in terms of experience and success. Yeah. Yep. So we'll see. We shall see. But we're all focused on the players. We're all focused on the money. We're all focused on the talent level. Let's see what they do with the level of talent. That's a question for me. I'm not saying they can't be good. People always try to change around what you say, no matter how you say it. But when somebody asks me honestly what I'm concerned about, I am concerned about the coaching staff. Not saying it won't work, but if you're asking me right now, I kind of turn my head sideways a little bit. You don't want your birthday cake to send you straight to the bed. Correct. Yeah. That's delicious. Uh-oh. That's good, Brian. Looking forward to hearing from Chris Lester how he got back from the West Coast. I know his daughter got married. Hope that went well. I still think the overall team speed for Tech is subpar. Yeah, it could be. We'll see. We'll get more when we see them and we kind of look at it and, you hear differing reports and everything. Everybody wants to, it looks great when people are out there in shorts and T-shirts. It's kind of like these quarterback camps. You're throwing against air. Oh, he looked great. Okay, yeah, of course. I just want to see it. And I think Tech fan is educated enough to where they're excited and they're accepting all these things, but they want to see it. And if they don't see it, they're not just going to blindly keep on going, well, we believe everything's great. Tech fans aren't stupid. Tech fans, they're passionate, but not stupid. And there's a lot of assumptions, I think, from a lot of schools that their fan bases are just naive. Tech fans not naive. They want them to win. It's who they are. But they're not just going to sit back. They're used to they know exactly what a bad product looks like. And if they start to see a bad product again, they're going to identify it pretty quickly. The one thing as a fan of sports that I dislike the most is when fans completely get discredited for having any right to feel a certain way, right? Especially when those are the folks they constantly come to asking for more and more and more. It's such a contradiction. There's an arrogance there. What do fans know? Well, fans know that without them, you wouldn't be a very successful organization. That's what fans know. Fans are making the choice to buy season tickets, to buy your merch, to donate when they can, to join clubs, a hockey club, whatever it might be, right? They're making those decisions on their own. So when they're sitting there and, when you buy a new lawnmower and it doesn't cut the grass evenly like you hoped, you're not just going to say, hey, I'm just going to stick with it and see if it works itself out without taking it back to the establishment and saying, I think I need a new one. I think I need a new blade. I think we need to talk about this a little bit. Right? Yeah, I think 7 wins is probably where I'm sitting right now, Prometheus. I agree with that. Sinadu? Shout you out. We're shouting you out. Sinadu? 5074. There you go. Please subscribe. Fans had no input, Wayne says, on the wasted money for seat backs when money could have gone toward Wi-Fi instead. True. They just kind of forced that on people, and then people didn't like it. Shouldn't you maybe at that point, as a gesture of goodwill, I don't know, how about when you're at the ballpark having a polling question or something, or go online and say, hey, season ticket holders, send them something else that says, what do you think we should do? What would make your in-stadium experience a little bit better, especially when the product has been so bad? Maybe get that input a little bit. There's a lot of lip service that's given to fans, right? And Franklin's been guilty of this too. There's a lot of, we can't do it without you. Got to have your money. But what are they doing for the fans? Now, there's obviously going to be things they've improved on. Wi-Fi is not going to be touched. The lights, was that something that Tech fan was really clamoring for? I don't know. You tell me. Did you go to games and did you sit there at night going, boy, they need some LED lighting? I'd be a much happier fan watching this team play if the lighting was better. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what you wanted. But the biggest complaint I have heard constantly wherever is the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Good news is Salamanders got what they want. But make the product what it is, and don't just tell the fans that what you think they want to hear. Show them. We talk about actions being the thing. Well, fans are showing you their loyalty with their actions. Did you renew your season tickets? Yes. Did you renew your parking pass? Yes. Are you going to donate what you can? Yeah. Okay. Well, they're showing you. Let's go into it with an understanding that it's easy to get up there and say, hey, we're on it. We've gotten this money. We need more. But let's not forget about these are the folks that filled a stadium at 11 a.m. against Wofford. It's amazing to me. Thunder says LED lights have been caught on for years. Oh, okay. On Twitter. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if that's something that they felt like was important, then I'm glad they got them for them. Wayne says, remember, they didn't cut down trees around Lane Stadium because of salamanders and creeks near. Oh, that's right. That's right. That was the reasoning, wasn't it? 7 wins. Yeah, 7. I think Prometheus is right. I think 7-5. You go +4 in the win column. And then if you get 8, then it's just, then you really got something going for 2027. I'd say that's very realistic. What's their over and under? 6.5? So yeah. I'd say that's probably right on the right number, the right thought process. There'll be excitement early, a chance to get off to a good start. That's why the Maryland game is so important. If you are going to exceed 7, the Maryland game's the trigger game. That's an entire coaching staff and maybe administration playing for its jobs in 2026, talking about Maryland. We focus on the tech side of it. Maryland is in a desperate season here. Loxley will not be there, and he's just like Mike Norvell. He's there because of the buyout. I mean, let's just say it the way it is. And the thing about it, he knows it. Because remember, there were reports, and we talked about it here, that they were going to let him go. And then we came back on 2 days later. It's interesting. Maryland hasn't made a decision. And then like a day or 2 days later, they said, well, we're going to hang on for one more year. Then you started seeing the buyout. It's double-digit millions. Wayne says the LED lights were a big deal with younger fans. I personally don't care about flashing lights. Correct. Can't figure out how to get fans in the stadium at Great Castle and Wi-Fi. What's up, T-Bird? I mean, no disrespect, just don't understand. Why would you need Wi-Fi while you're watching your team playing a big game in an exciting and loud stadium? I think most of that around it is for people outside. They want to get their stuff cranked up pregame, postgame. Yeah, the Wi-Fi complaints are from younger people, because they want to create moments. They want to be – that's exactly what it is. It's the social media age. And I wonder, obviously if we didn't have this social – let's just call it what it is. It's a problem at this point, social media problem. You wonder if Wi-Fi would even ever enter into it. Now, it was a pain for us when we did the tailgate show because we'd lose connection just trying to broadcast. Look, I'm telling you, man, you walk around Radford with our student athletes, and I just saw new people coming in. Our new basketball team was coming in on Friday. They're sitting here like this. They're walking into the building. You might be walking down the stairs opposite them, and this is all you get. So, yeah. They need Starlink. Yeah. Well. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. Reach out to Jason Green, Family Fencing. NRB.com. They're popping up all over the place. I heard the backpack program went great at the Super Bowl this weekend. 382-5525. We're going to have the bash here. Don't forget the bash is July 18th. Man, they did a great thing for the community schools. They raised some funds. Every penny going to be donated, by the way, distributed evenly. You talk about a great program. Congratulations to the Super Bowl. Sundown Electric, the Smith Brothers, 5-star reviews, satisfied clients, superior craftsmanship, attention to detail. One of the best. Thanks to the Smith Brothers. ReadySetFund.com. If your sports team, your organization, you need to raise some money, reach out to Bob Chris, BOBCRST11 @gmail, ReadySetFund.com. Talked about professional door, Travis Williams. We're a few days out now from July, and we're going to have some really cool stuff. We're going to be talking about more celebrating year 40 for your garage doors and the maintenance of your garage door. So stay tuned here in a couple of days. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, BDST here on YouTube. My exclusive banking partner, the attorney Ryan Pry. We need a question this week. What is your BDST fan question of the week? Ryan is 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Little River Heating and Air, Charles Lee. A lot of folks I've already heard just in and around the neighborhoods here have had their air units break down already. 553-2971. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Going to try to get Jonathan on this week. He just got an award. Talked about Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic, sponsor of our chat room. Christian says Clemson, SMU, and Miami on the road in the span of 4 weeks is too much to overcome. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. All iPhones have Starlink connection now, so maybe Elon solves the problem for tech regarding connectivity. Yeah, I haven't heard very much negativity about Starlink. It's true. We've got Coach Elmo and Coach Steiny coming on together here at 7. You don't want to miss that. Todd Grantham is he's on holiday. Todd's on holiday. He'll be back on Wednesday. July will be the last time that you can get out if you're a coach. Get away. Basketball practices are going to be all over the place. You're going to see that everywhere. Players are back all over campuses across the country, and July is a big month for your college basketball. It's something that was overlooked far too many times, man. There's so many years you couldn't touch a team for any time during the summer. Boy, it was a violation. Finally, about 5 years ago, coaches prevailed. Because every other sport, you can work on your teams a little bit, you know. But basketball, men's and women, you couldn't. Now you can, and it's a big, big advantage. So I'll get my look. Everybody's asking about the new crop of Radford players. I have no idea. We'll find out. I'll start today. I'll wander out there and meet some of the guys. I know they won't be. Coach Chu wants me to meet the guys. So I'll let you know. 3 players returning. Everybody else will be new. So there you go. You're going to have a dozen new guys, which is why I don't know who they are. I just don't know yet. We'll find out. But I plan to go out there today just to kind of get a look-see. And this is just the way it's going to be going forward. I hope, man, I don't mind saying this. I hope this group gets more acclimated to being at Radford and being part of the community than the last group. What's up, really? Really, hey? Welcome. Please subscribe. I hate this for college. No attachment. Correct? None. And if they do attach, it's because they got paid. Yep. Thanks, really. I appreciate that. Yeah. Kohler Pruitt. Yep. Dunbar Outdoors. What's up, Dunbar? Welcome, man. Subscribe. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. But I don't know yet. You know, I just don't know. I'm looking forward to meeting them. A lot of little lower profile kids, if you will, in terms of what was brought in last year for the dollar amounts. No, I don't think it. Well, I know the earbuds come off after the warm-ups. The thing that always blows me away is when they're down shooting on their own and you just hear the blaring music. And you know immediately what's going on. You can hear the music before you can hear the ball bouncing on the floor. And guys are just out there shooting. And same thing on the women's side. And I know people work out the music and they do all these things. But, man, oh, man, I don't know how you sit there and get so much get stuff done with all that blaring noise and why it's so necessary. But I don't know what time workouts run. We'll find out. I'm guessing early afternoon, probably after lunch, something like that. But this is where we are, especially for places like us. It's just the acceptance of that's it. We talked to J.D. Byers over at, he was in New York with Toby, but I'm just saying the fact they retained as much as they did in terms of the 3 core guys, that's a huge win, man. If you can retain 3 core guys, that's a massive, massive win. Radford lost all of their core guys. They do get Freddie Erickson back, who was on the all-freshman team. But in terms of new guys, I don't know yet. We'll find out. Kids don't want to have real conversations anymore. They can't have a normal conversation. Without feeling threatened or without calling their parent. Yeah, I'm with you. It's got to be so tough to be a coach. I don't envy anyone coaching today, man. Wayne had a Walkman cranking up Hall & Oates while I shot. Yeah, but you had it in your ear, right? These guys are just blaring it out like it has to be boom, boom, boom. If it was Dave Matthews music, it wouldn't be a problem. Thanks, really. Appreciate you again. Christian says if fans think if Franklin is just like Cignetti and can win instantly, they're going to be disappointed. Yeah, that's an anomaly of all time. That is an anomaly in the history of college football, what Kurt Cignetti did. And it doesn't really matter what happens going forward because he's already accomplished something that was universally not even thought of as being impossible because no one ever even considered the possibility that Indiana football could compete for a national championship. And it did in back-to-back years and then won the whole thing. It's still – I don't think we pay enough tribute to that. We've kind of gotten away from it. We're here in the southeastern part of the country, Southwest Virginia. We're in the ACC country, even the SEC. We don't have any clue about Indiana football yet. I don't know if we give it enough. It's the most amazing story in the history of college football. What's happened at Indiana, the all-time losingest Division I program. So I don't think Tech fans are putting this in that category. But there does seem to be a natural inclination to believe they're going to be successful very, very quickly. And maybe that happens. I don't know. And the other thing that I take caution about, worried about records and all this, especially now, and it's just like the NFL. We've said this all the time, even on the radio show. What's up, Melee? You mean like Men at Work, the Vegemite sandwich? NFL, like, for instance, they go through strength of schedule. Well, this team based on last year. Well, is it really smart to base it on last year? Because teams don't necessarily follow up that success automatically. Now, I think that maybe even more so. I believe in college football, you can't assume anything even more than the NFL. Like, who was good last year was last year. Who's going to be good this year? I don't know. Especially when you look at all the major coaching turnover at the majors, in all the major conferences. And we're not talking about one coach. We're talking about his whole staff, Tech being included. So on paper, games look tough. Going to Clemson looks tough, right? Going to SMU. But who knows how those teams are going to unfold? You don't know. There might be some teams on there that you don't think are going to be tough that end up being a problem. It goes both ways. So I don't like to get pigeonholed into wins. You know, sometimes at some point you're going to have to make a prediction, and I will. But I want to see how it works. You know, I want to see how these teams progress. How do all these new players that come in as starters, how do they get acclimated? How do they fit in? We'll talk Coach Steinspring. We'll talk to Coach Elmo about that a little bit. I mean, it's a lot of, you know, there's always a lot of clickbait out there and a lot of things that, you know, these sites know that fans want to talk about and everything. But yeah, it's kind of like the wait and see. And I'm kind of like that guy. I'm kind of wait and see on scheduling. Yeah, Signetti is on a different level than everyone. Valuation has been his key, correct. Morris says, if we lack in wideout speed and assistant coaching deficiencies, does it really matter how good Grunkemeyer is? Yeah, it's all got to come together. That's what I'm saying. Now, we're not talking soccer a whole lot right now, really, eh? U.S. plays again on Wednesday. Where are we, in the round of 32? Signetti is excellent evaluating players. Yeah, he was at JMU. Yeah, he's always been. Yeah, that's one of his strengths, 100%. Wayne says, I think sometimes it can be luck of schedule, but most games come down to one or two plays. Yeah. Will Franklin make that difference in those one or two plays, unlike his last two predecessors? Yeah, that's the question. Can Tech not blow itself up with procedure penalties, holding calls? What's up, Gopal? Welcome. Please subscribe, everyone that's new. Lots of new folks. Had a great time on the Big Dog Pop on Friday, too. That was fun. I think we're going to do it this Thursday night because most people have Friday off. I know we do it Radford. 4th of July observed. What's up, Avisha? Vika? Hey, Croatia. Hey, we don't have a Croatian subscriber yet. We've got 14, 15 nations. Like calling a timeout on a 55-yard field goal. Yeah. Very true. Very, very true. Speed was always Beamer's strong suit, coaches, players, assessment ability. Yeah, they had some fast guys, man. One thing I know, I think we're not going to see, well, I won't say that I know. The one thing that I think I've learned already from Franklin is that if you do see those type of things happening, there's going to be more immediate accountability for hopefully the player and the coach of the position. Always seemed to be a lot of leeway given under Brent Pry. I don't think that's going to happen. I know it's all sunshine and roses right now. You know, they're such good friends. And there's always a great vibe when you have your first staff. But I don't think Franklin's going to hesitate if somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or if they're unit or the part of their football team continues to be the one thing people are talking about every week as to what is a consistent deficiency. That's the one thing that I believe is going to be addressed under Franklin more than anything. That accountability. So, yeah. Lots of folks on the professional door text line. I feel really good, Mike and Steve, about Ethan Grunkemeyer. I do. I've even gone on record to say that I think he could be an all-conference type of quarterback if things come together. Because he's one guy that I know has done it at the highest level. Big Ten was the best conference in football. It has been the last 3 years. But, yeah, I feel really good about him being here. As a matter of fact, he is the one recruit that I felt like Franklin had to get. Talk about everybody else you want. He was the one guy he had to get. I am betting the players don't show up when they feel like maybe like a certain other coach is still there loud. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Edward? Heard you talk about Brent Pry. Brent Pry, what I think about Brent Pry, he's a very nice guy. Came on the radio show several times. Good interview. He was not a good head football coach. I think he would have to look at you and say, I wasn't a very good football coach, head football coach. I wasn't prepared to be a head football coach. Never should have been put in that position. That falls back on who? The guy who hired him. We sugarcoat things a lot instead of just looking at things. When people are making a hell of a lot of money, I really don't feel very bad about criticizing them. But that's how that lineage plays out, in my opinion. Don't hate the dude, just didn't like the job that was done. There you go. So that's the side in which I fall on it. All right. We mentioned Todd Grantham is traveling out and about with vacation. Joining us now on the program is that gentleman. He is Brian Steinspring, the head football coach of your Roanoke College Maroons. What's up, Coach Steiny? How you doing, brother?
I'm fine. Congratulations to you.
Hey, how about that?
Wow.
Miracles
never cease to occur.
I know, right? Well, it's take two. After the first one, I said, I'm done. I'm done.
Practice is valuable. I'm just like, scrimmages are valuable.
You're right. You're exactly. You can never practice too much, can you?
That's correct.
Well, how you been, brother? How's everything going, man?
Everything's going well. Right now, we're undefeated. It's the perfect season so far. So we're good.
When you went back, Coach, and you watched the film, I know you've broken down every game, every player in the development. I mean, you really did some nice things. Was it even further ahead of where you thought it would be when you went back and assessed things with your staff, your first team at Roanoke?
Rick, you bring up a great point here. This was the most scrutinized season I've ever been in, and I did it, right? I said, this is what we're going to do. We went back and looked at everything, how we traveled. I mean, everything that occurred during our season. And I'm actually amazed about the way things transpired. I'm not satisfied by any stretch of the imagination. I tell people this all the time. We're here, and we made a really good statement last year, but we haven't arrived. And there's a lot of things that need to take place. We have to improve ourselves at the line of scrimmage. The number of missed assignments, which is to be expected, but we got to get past it. Were critical errors. That's the difference between winning and losing, or being in a position to win the game at the end. Those things have to improve, and I put that on us as a staff. I mean, it's not what we know; it's what our players know. And if we're not executing what we need to execute at a high level, then that comes back to us. And So it was a really challenging time. that we went through. We had our offense study, our defensive staff study, our offense, all kinds of things like that we did. I felt like has improved us as a staff. Recruiting has improved us as a team. Our work habits, all these things that we felt like we wanted to take this opportunity to go back and say, okay, what did we do well? Let's build on it. What did we not do well? Let's either get better at it or get it out of our thought process. So it was a very, very diligent time, but it was a very productive time for us.
Well, and it's great to hear about recruiting. I'm sure they're seeing what you're building down there, right? And that had to be something that was a big difference for you when you went out now, right? As opposed to just coming up and saying, hey, this is what we want to do. Now you've shown this is what we're capable of doing, right?
Absolutely. Part of our official visits, we have this little moving forward part of our presentation to the families and to our student athletes, prospective student athletes, and one of the things that we do is we show the first we show the first locker room. It's a set of aluminum chairs and little crates that we got from Walmart. And, you can buy those things in a bundle. I didn't realize that. You can buy them in this big, huge bundle. And that was their locker room, right? And then we showed where they worked out. No air conditioning, just basic operation that had it served its purpose. Our meeting rooms where we met. Some of us, my staff meetings were out in the hallway. And just to see the evolution of what has occurred from one year to the next. We took the last frames that we show is this first team picture and the second team picture. And the first team picture, Rick, was kind of like when I look at that picture of all those young men sitting there, it looked like they were all sitting at the DMV, 16 years of age, waiting to get their first driver's license. I mean, that's what it looked like. I'm like, wow. So it has been such a joy to watch this thing evolve. But all that's done is motivate you even more. Okay, we've got this thing going in a good direction. We got it going. We got it up. We're here. I mean, those type things. But now, what can we do? What's the next step? This will be harder. I tell our staff all the time, this will be harder. We set a standard. We won 6 ball games. Okay, well, that's the standard. Now it's how do we get better? And how do we improve upon that? And so that's the big challenge for us right now.
Well, I know that this gentleman knows about building programs wherever he has gone. And
Wait. Okay, so here's the purpose of life. Every time I tell my team, find that moment that defines your purpose in life. This is it for me right now. I'm on the radio with the big dog, Coach Elmo, talking about you're here and arrived. I feel like I've now arrived.
Jesus, Steiny, get a life. Come on now.
What's up, Coach Elmo? Good to see you. Coach Steinspring in the house with us. Yeah, you guys know a little bit about building program, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, you're just listening to Brian in the last few minutes there. He's going to find out, as I did when I went to coach at Ferrum Junior College. I was 28 years old. I'd been 5 years in, quote, Division I ball at Richmond and William Mary when it was, the Southern Conference was a big deal back in the day. And but the 4 years at Ferrum Junior College in all my 40 years were without a doubt the most gratifying of all places. We had to line the fields, we had to do the equipment, and watching the kids grow. We only had them for 2 years, but watching them grow, watching that Roanoke College program grow will be a defining moment for you. That of all the bowls and sugar bowls and all that national championship game against Florida State will pale in significance for what you're doing at a place where your kids are there for one reason and one reason only. They love to play. And that's a dinosaur. And you will appreciate that.
I couldn't agree more with what Coach Elmo said right there. I've told people before, this has been probably the single biggest endeavor, difficult endeavor, but the most gratifying. And so we're enjoying this process and that's going on right now. And I step back and, I'm going to make sure I enjoy this ride. If there's any way possible, I'm going to try to enjoy this ride. Sometimes we get so caught up in the moments, you forget to enjoy the moments that you're in. So, again, we got a lot of work to do, but I appreciate it, Coach Elmo.
Well, you're welcome. One thing, you've been able to retain your staff, haven't you? Right? I mean.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the key. And you've got a staff that's, enjoy them while you can, because they're good enough. They're not going to be there long, and that's a good thing.
Well, we dodged a few opportunities this whole off season, so
yeah, and that's okay. They're going to come. I've been to your practices. I've seen them work with those players. The only guy that I got some question is that damn offensive line coach you got. Damn. Hey, I thought I was back. I thought I was back at Virginia Tech in '93. I said, "Oh my God, Brian, come on now." Those kids love Brian. Brian, and this is the best thing about it, which is really gratifying, and I love it. I love him for this. Brian coaches the offensive line. And you know what? That is so smart to do that. Take the toughest position and put your best coach in that position, because it's also about evaluating it too. As I've always said, Rick, on the show, there's two positions that you better have: a great evaluator and a great coach. Offensive line and defensive back. And the rest of them, go recruiting. The quarterback coach, excuse me. Yeah, I love your defensive coordinator. I love your defensive staff. I think they do a great job of getting those kids to play as hard as they can play, and that's impressive. So, and I'm sure it'll continue and just keep getting better talent.
That's the key, right? That's the key. I'm a good coach when I got good players. I can tell you that right now.
I've never been accused. Hey, I've never been accused of screwing up good talent.
Coach Steinspring, what's for our viewers here they're just loving this, by the way, can you talk about what are some of the things that you run into now when you're going out trying to find players and so forth? We know what's going on at the highest bidder in Power 4 right now, but what are you seeing? What do you hear from kids and their families when you're going out?
I think that's a great question, but to them it's just, as Coach Elmo said, these guys just want to be able to play ball. Now there is a second piece, Coach Elmo. They do want to get a degree. Okay, they want to go to a good school and get a degree. But they want to play ball, so they ask the same questions. I'm so looking forward to. They ask about the weight room. What's the program like there? How do we develop our players that way? They're intrigued about where do you see them as players? All the things that you're so accustomed to hearing, but really for them in the recruiting cycles that I'm aware, there's so much uncertainty for this changing landscape, as we like to say, the changing landscape of recruiting. There's this unknowing about where they fit, what their next station in life is going to be, where do they fall, how does this thing work with the way that the recruiting is going now. So you get a lot of questions from that. You get a lot of questions from high school coaches. They especially the high school coaches that have been doing this a while, and they're like, okay, I have this young man, but he's not really getting the look that I was expecting him to get. And that it always seems like it comes to me because I walk in, I've been doing this for a while, and they say, Coach, am I doing something wrong here? And I tell them, no, it's just the way the things have changed, and it's not going back. So that's what I get caught up in some schools about, just talking about what do they need to do with their kids to get them the look, and especially when you talk about the Division I or Division SCS kids that are still out there kind of trying to find out where they fit in this scheme of recruiting.
Coach Elmo, if you were at Roanoke College today, you mentioned how much appreciation you would have. Great comparison when you're at Ferrum. I mean, you would enjoy this, wouldn't you? Trying to go out and just find guys with that kind of passion. You wouldn't have to worry about the other side. You'd be all over this.
It is, the joy we had at Ferrum watching those kids develop, and especially, and I think Brian, you'll really appreciate this. When even when I played there, and especially when I coached there, between the freshman and sophomore years, all of a sudden they're freshmen, and next thing you know, they come back in the summer, particularly when they come back in the summer in their sophomore year. It's like Christmas morning. It's like, wow, this kid ain't the same kid. I mean, we've had him come in at, I'll give you one great story. We just had a reunion of the 68 national championship Ferrum team. There ain't many left. Okay. But they've done it for 40 plus years.
Yep.
Down in Deltaville and that area. And they just had it this past weekend, and I went. I've been a few times, but I went this time because a great player, great Ferrum player, the most decorated player in the history of Georgia Tech had passed away. Rock Perdoni. This is a guy, I played high school football with him. He came over to this country. He was 6 years old and could not speak English. Italian. Dad came over, first generation, brought the whole family over. Played in my high school, didn't get recruited by nobody. About 200-pound, 5'11" defensive lineman, goes to Ferrum. His freshman year, he starts. They lost one game. The next year, sophomore year, they win the national championship, and he is the junior college defensive lineman player of the year. So again, just the maturation between freshman and sophomore year is tremendous, as I'm sure you've seen with your players. Then he goes on to Georgia Tech, and Brian, here's the all-time that you'll sit there and go, no friggin' way this happened. Georgia Tech was on the quarter system. He goes down there in March, and 1 week on the campus, and they're right in the spring ball. 20 days. On the 21st day after spring ball, they elected him captain at Georgia Tech.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of that?
Never.
That's a never. He goes on there. They have one of their best seasons they've had in decades. He's the MVP in the Sun Bowl against Texas Tech. They lost to Notre Dame. Well, he's a consensus All-American. Bob Hope at that time, Kodak made all 6 All-American team. The Lombardi Award, the first year it was ever given, was 1970. When Vince Lombardi had passed, and they established the award then. He was second to a guy named Jim Stillwagon in the Ohio State. So without a doubt, he is the most decorated player and he was 5'11", 240 pounds in Virginia Tech, and everybody said too small, can't play. And he went to Georgia Tech and became a consensus All-American and one of the greatest players in the history of Georgia Tech football. So all these guys, Wayne Stennett, here's another name from Brookville High School. Remember Eddie Martin, Brian?
Absolutely.
Well, Eddie was a Ferrum boy. And they both played at Brookville High School. And here's Wayne Stennett. He's a 180-pound linebacker at 6'3", and he's a tall guy. And he didn't know. We're all trying to avoid going to Vietnam, so we don't know what the hell we're doing. I say all of us, but so Eddie Martin goes, well, let's go to Ferrum. They won a national championship. So Wayne Stennett goes to Ferrum. Again, you talk about development as a linebacker. We were talking about this weekend and laughing our ass off. He doesn't make the travel squad. So the old school bus fan called the Golden Goose is driving around Route 40 going to Newport News to play the apprentice school. And there's old Wayne sticking his thumb out trying to get back to Brookville because he didn't make the travel squad. He's going home for the weekend. Okay? So, hey, you can't make this shit up, Brian.
No, you can't. You can't.
A week later, the center got hurt. They got no center. They got no backup worth a damn. So Coach Thornton says to Wayne, he goes, hey, can you snap? Can you be a center? So next thing you know, he gets the quarterback, and he, like on a Sunday, they're just working like crazy to develop snaps. They go undefeated. Ferrum goes undefeated, and as a freshman, they win the national championship. He is the starting center on that team. The next year, he's junior college All-American. So in 1971, he signs at Virginia Tech. Burnup will tell you about it. You played with Burnup at Virginia Tech. And he snapped for Don Strock. And I'm telling you, in the history of Virginia Tech, the early history is one of the best linemen they've ever had. He could reach the two techniques. And that was unheard of back then. He was so quick. But that's what you talk about, the development, which I'm sure you will experience there as you get into their sophomore and junior year. And you may lose some in the portal, and good for you. That you're doing, you found the right one. You just got to replace them. But at least your staff knows what you're looking for.
Well, the development piece is the thing I love most about there's a lot I love about this game, but to be able to develop young men, that is the highlight for all of us. You watch them mature, grow as men, right, and as players. But that's the reward for all of us to coach, really. So, I mean that's why we do it. We've already lost. We did lose one already in the portal to a Division I school. Actually, Norfolk State. I haven't spoke to Mike Vick since. So, but
not on speaking terms right now.
No, I did text and wish him happy birthday, though. I broke down and wished him happy birthday yesterday. So, but no, I think, hey, people said, "Oh, aren't you concerned about that?" No, that means we're doing everything. That means we're doing it the right way, right? I mean, I think there was 16 Division III kids signed Division I scholarships last year.
Well,
how about that? So,
wow,
that's awesome.
Wow.
You know what, Brian? Greg Roberts always says the top recruiters in his experiences in athletics, football in the state of Virginia, he always, ranking them, but he always Jim Cavanaugh, Brian Steinspring, Danny Wilmer. Those were that's the Mount Rushmore of back in the day recruiters in the state of Virginia, because you take a list of those three guys, and I'll put Tom O'Brien in there with his own personality, it was like watching paint dry. Which to this day I still don't know how he signed Kirby and Chris Slade. Have no idea. With George Welsh, it was another one like watching paint dry when you go into the home meet. But those three guys, you take a list of the players that impacted the programs, Virginia Tech, and it's a who's who. And I'm sure, Brian, those guys and all the people you were able to, in your longevity at Virginia Tech, and have probably, called you and thanked you and all that. But let me tell you, these guys you're coaching at Roanoke College, when you retire, you will not imagine how much they will stay in touch with you, because the opportunities you've given them, because you're playing with everyone's rejects, just like at Fair. Don't forget, there's something wrong with every one of them, and that's okay. That's why you got them. And then now, what's it? Don't tell me what they can't do. I've always said this, Brian. You remember me. What can he do? I want to know what he can do, not what he can't do. Hell, that's easy. Let's get the tough part over with. Where's his strength? And that's what coaching at Ferrum taught me in terms of player development and looking at a kid to say, okay, here's his strengths, here's the liabilities. this position can maximize his strength. Let's go and let's put him there. And this is why it'll be. I love it when I come up there and watch. I'm gonna try to get up there for the preseason as I always do. It's so much fun watching you guys coach those kids, and they're like all your kids are like golden retrievers, man. They're just coming with their tails wagging and want to be loved.
They are. They are. They are. It is. But they are so happy. I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah, man. I get to play football. You got to go in there and anytime you walk into the high school, and you probably got a guy that you're recruiting and you want in your program, but ask the question, Coach, who's the guy on your football team that's number one, that loves this game more than any other player you have on this football team and can't live without it? And if you lined up your football team, would he beat the crap out of every one of them?
This is beautiful. Okay, this is beautiful.
I may not know about him, but send him down to see me, please.
There's no doubt. When you start talking about recruiting, everything is a standard, right? Height, weight, wingspan, foot speed, all these things. Here's one. And this is what I tell our staff all the time. I said, okay, tell me what he is. It's alluding to what Coach Elmo just said. What can he do? Tell me what this guy is. Well, he's a nice kid. No, tell me what he is. Watch the film. And they'll look at me and go, he's a football player? Heck yeah, he's a football player. How about that one?
That's what you want to hear.
How about this? Come on. Yeah. Let's go with these. Let's go with these guys. Let's go. What is he? Is he quarterback? Is he tailback, running back? What is? Coach, he's a football player. Go get him. Go get that.
There was a story I had heard back in the day. I think Danny Ford shared this with me. So, back in the day, the SEC would give about 60 scholarships or whatever back in the 60s and 50s. And they said that after, he'd go out and he'd go get some great players, but then he'd send the staff back out. He'd save about 10 scholarships. He says, go out and get me guys that will live and die for Alabama football, that have enough talent. And he said, and Danny used to tell me, those are the kids who would end up playing.
No, there's no doubt.
They're going to find a way to get in that too deep.
Hey, just think about the kids. And this is for a later day. One time I went back and said, okay, in this day and age, who would we have not taken? Right? Who maybe in the course of your career, Coach Elmo, in this day and age, who would you have not taken because of the landscape of where we are right now? And I sit here, I think about a guy like Jake Grove or Will Montgomery or those guys, and they just sat there and they were short, they weren't this, they weren't that, but they love football. And when the ball was snapped, you wanted him in your huddle. Okay, you did not want him on the other side of the line of scrimmage, right? So they're the ones that end up being the best, or at the upper echelon of the game, right? So that drives us all. That's Coach Elmo. We're gonna start getting up here. We're gonna start spitting and shouting and all that. We start going down this realm of thought process of what it is about finding those guys that love the game. I mean, hey, if I didn't have the game, I'd just be walking in circles, right? It gives people direction. It gives them we talked about starting this show with purpose. But, those are the guys you win with. At the end of the day, when it's 4th and 2 and it's late in the game, and find me those guys who want to be in that situation. I used to talk to wrestling coaches all the time. Kevin Dressler. I talk to them all the time about recruiting. I mean, you go to a state wrestling tournament, Rick Watson, 42-1, Phil Elmassian, 50-1. I mean,
sign them up.
No, I mean, okay. How do y'all differentiate these guys? Is it hips? Is it what is it? Everybody's got the thought process, but the one denominator, common denominator that wrestling coaches tell me, I want the guy when it's 2-2, period 3, 1 minute left, that finds a way to win the match. That's the guy. Yeah.
Well, Brian, what you're describing, this Coach Norton always used to say, ain't nothing but a winner.
Ain't nothing but a winner.
And, so what defines the winner? Well, the number one thing, as we all gone through this in this business, is finding those guys that get out of their own skin. They don't have a selfish bone in their body. They're givers. They're not takers. They're givers. And they love, they literally love, they don't want to let you down. They don't want to let their teammate down. They've been brought up that way. And as well as I do, people, the home visit, I'm sure the home visit, I've always said when I went into a home, I knew there was a guy that was going in before me and a guy that's going to follow me. And let me tell you what, I was going to make damn sure that family knew my name and they knew who I was. Because there's some coaches that go in there, some of the families, they'll, oh yeah, coach from the school came in. No, Phil Elmassian from Richmond was here. And I was going to make it so memorable. I may not get the kid, but they were going to remember who the hell I was and impact them and tell them the truth. Be a truth teller. First thing I would say, hey, college football's hard. He's going to call home and he's going to want to quit. Now, the problem is, are you going to say, oh, we'll put you in the portal, you can leave, or are you going to tell him to stick it out? I would ask him that. I would ask him that today. I would probably not last. If you would probably fire me on the road recruiting today. Because I'd walk into that home and the first thing I would say when he calls home, because it is tough. Every coach is going to come in and tell you what you can do for them and all that. I'm going to tell you college football is really, really hard. It is hard. And if you are going to quit, you're going to think about it. I don't care who you are. If you've never played for anybody that you never thought about quitting, you got a soft-ass, candy-ass program. Joel Hicks, all right, Rick Watson, I'll guarantee you, after that third day on the Oklahoma drill, you're going, I don't know.
2 days, baby. Yeah. What am I doing?
Do I want to do this anymore?
Okay, I know, Rick. We're going to let Coach Elmo and I going to let you talk here, Vince.
No, this is great. No, I'm loving it. You guys keep going.
We're
having a staff meeting, Brian.
We do appreciate you being here, but it's amazing to me. What Coach Elmo just did, we had Wyatt Teller over. He was working out, getting ready. He was still working out. Came over to Roanoke College. My kids loved it. I said, y'all come on the field and watch.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So, but he told the team, he told a group of offensive linemen, he goes, you know what drives me? I don't want to let the guy beside me down. So Coach Elmo just made a statement. Okay, that's coach speak. I love it when people, oh yeah, great coach speak. No, that's real facts. Write that down. I just wrote down something to Coach Elmo. He's still teaching me to this day, right? but that comes from a guy that's making a lot of money doing it, right? And that was the lesson. That was lesson one that he told a group of offensive linemen. I didn't want to let the guy beside me down by not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do it, and then not playing each play like it was the last one. So in about 1 minute and 22 seconds, he did more than I've done the previous month with this group, right? He validated everything that I was saying. And then the second thing that Coach Elmassian said about, you got to be honest. We're an official visit. I'm up there giving the best speech that I could possibly give to a group of parents and kids. I mean, I got this thing mapped out. The staff sitting there listening to me. Here's the moment. And I said, now listen, if you like being in the comfort zone, if you like being comfortable, then this ain't the place for you. And I look at my staff, and they're like, "Oh, dear God, he's lost it. What is he? You want? Hey, we're gonna play. We're gonna go to the swimming pool on practice 2. Halfway through, we're going to the swimming pool. We're gonna have a bar. If you like being in a comfort zone, if being comfortable is in complacent, if that's where you like to live your life, then this may not be the place for you. But see, when they get here, they understand that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
there's no shock value. Sure. There's no shock value to them. And I tell the staff, if they don't come because of that statement, then we don't need them. They're not going to be here anyway. They're not going to be here very, very long anyway.
There's nothing that's going to earn trust faster than being a truth teller.
There's no doubt.
Right.
A truth teller. And telling, and being truthful with them and how they're going to develop them and how you see them in their future. And, even that, that's how we got Cornell Brown. We just told him the truth. We didn't fluff anything up getting him. Told him, we said, hey, it's just, we need you to turn the program around, but let me tell you, this is what we expect from you. This is how I see your future. I hope you see the same things, but this is how I see your 4-year plan here and making history in this program and being very truthful and tell them it's going to be hard. I'm just telling you right. I told him, I said, this is not going to be easy and it ain't going to be fun, except when you win games. That's when the fun begins. The fun part of football is winning. Practice is not fun. I've never been through a fun practice in my life, so, but and then Brian, then you got kids like Hank Coleman. Hank Coleman's from George Wythe High School in Richmond, Virginia. I'm at the University of Virginia and I rejected him. I couldn't find a place for him. He was a tailback linebacker, could run. 4'6" kid, 4'5", 4'6". Horrible program. Great student. And I tell you what really flipped me on him that I said, we need to take him at UVA because he was a good enough student for us. I asked him, I said, what do you do on the weekends? What tell me your hobbies, those the probing questions that you want to find out about non-football stuff and really who they are. I said, what's the thing will you do on the weekend? He goes, I go up on the river, up on the northern neck, I don't know, King, Queen County, whatever. He goes, I go up on the river and sit on the porch and visit with my grandpa. I said, no. I said, no. No, he goes, no, Coach. He's a city kid in Richmond. Got nothing. But he got granddad lives up on the river. He goes, I spend my weekends with my granddad on the front porch. Not every one of them, but he says enough. I said, really? Yeah, talking. I said, I'm with Steve Marshall. He's playing basketball. He's a basketball player. I'm with Steve Marshall. We're in the gym watching him. I said, Steve, I'm going to regret not taking this kid, but I can't find a place for him. I never thought he was an inside linebacker. I didn't think he was a Sam type linebacker. I said, damn, he'd be a great 8 technique for you. And Brian, you can appreciate that as an outside on-air linebacker blitzing and stuff like that. That's because he could run and he was a competitor. I said, Steve, I'd take him if I were you. If I was you're playing a defense that he can perform in. I can't find a place. And then I get to Virginia Tech and I said, all right, you're going to Coach Grantham. We're going to put your hand in the dirt. You're going to be a defensive end because that's what he did best. Get off the ball and go rush the passer and use the speed because when he blitzed for you guys playing a technique, that's what he was good at. So, and he ended up being a great player for us, a great player at Virginia Tech. But that was the fun part. But you're going to have this Roanoke College experience that you're going to have there is it's going to be when you retire. I'll probably be dead, but you'll be able to say, "Hey, this is the best place I've ever coached. This is the most fun, the most gratifying." And I promise you, I don't give a crap how many bowls you've been to. And listen, I've been in the Rose. I've been to every bowl except the Orange Bowl. It's only Fiesta, Rose, Sugar, Cotton. But you know what? Playing in Victory Stadium for a national championship at Ferrum Junior College against Northwest Mississippi. And we lost that son of a bitch, and I cried like a damn baby after that game. And that was the most memorable game. I wanted to win that national championship for Coach Thorne. That one there is the most memorable loss of all the losses. I don't care who it was and what Big Ten program I've been in. Never forget it.
Coach Steinsberg, let me ask you, when I talk to former players that went through Virginia Tech the time you were there, they always highlight their experiences with you, not necessarily talking about what you taught them as their offensive line coach or offensive coordinator, but what you taught them about life and how much genuine concern you showed for them as young men and how they've carried that through. When you look back at all that, what does that tell you about when you look back at your career? I know the wins and losses are what coaches are judged on, but I know you lay your head down at night pretty securely knowing how much you have impacted all these folks as they're now married into the profession, their fathers. I mean, it's got to make you feel wonderful because I hear that all the time from former players from that era about you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And it's the single most important thing to me that somewhere in somebody's life he made a difference. And if we can be the difference makers, that long after we all have a final snap, right? Mine was quicker than most. Mine came a little quicker than I thought, right? But the games are going to be forgotten. But people aren't. And when you can sit back at the end of the day and coach as many games as Coach Elmo and I have been in, and the places we've coached and the type of games that we've coached in or played in. But it's when I get a call from one of my players, say, Coach, I'm getting ready to get married. Coach, I'm getting ready to take a job. I got one call me the other day, says getting ready to retire. I said, geez, wow.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah, you've arrived, Brian.
Yeah.
You've arrived.
That means so. That means everything. And you talk about that. I say this all the time, and that's how it occurs. But they say, "What's your goal at Roanoke? What's your goal?" And I said, "Oh, my only goal is quite simple. That whenever my last day of coaching is, whenever that is that." I left the hat and the whistle in a better position than I found it, and the young men in the jerseys in a better position than when I found them. And if you do that, then it's been a good run. Nick Saban probably said it best. If you want to be happy for an hour, eat a steak. If you want to be happy for a day, play golf. Unless you play golf like I do, then that's not a good day. If you want to be happy for a week, go on a cruise. You want to be happy for a month, buy a car. You want to be happy for a year, buy a house. But if you don't show up to work one day and you're not present, ask yourself, will you be missed? And if the answer is yes, then you did it the right way. You've led a good life from that standpoint. It's not the cruise. It's not the golf. It's not the house. It's not the car. That's the barometer of how you live your life.
Well said. Well said. Only thing is, Brian, when I get phone calls, I'm afraid they're going to sue my ass.
I knew that was coming.
You get really good calls. I get calls like, oh, Jesus, here we go. This guy's lawyer up. Took him a while.
Every time, Coach Elmo tells it all the time. He goes, every time I run in to see one of my ex-players coming, I'm trying to gauge is he coming for me?
Is he going to have a bat in his head?
Is it a handshake or I need to put him up? I don't know which way.
Jesus, hey, when we had that 86 reunion about 4 years ago, we had the 86 reunion. There was a player named Mitch Dove who played corner for me, and I'll tell you what, oh my God, I should apologize to him every day, and Janet was with me, and I told Janet, Janet, I don't know if this guy's going to hug me and hit me. She says, hold on. And all of a sudden, it's one of those eye contacts, and he sees me, and he starts coming to me, and I went, up, here it comes. There we go. This big hug, starts crying his ass off, and thank you. And I'm sitting going, I'm so to myself going, thank you, God. I had one kid. I got a call from a kid I coached at Ferrum named Mark Oglesby. And his brother Ike was a great tailback at Carolina for Coach Dooley in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And Mark from Greensboro, he came to Ferrum. He came 5 minutes late for our bowl game. He was starting for me as a freshman. He came 5 minutes late for the meeting, and I threw his ass out. Go back to the dorm. You ain't ready. You're not. You're too unselfish enough to get here on time. You're not ready. Go back to them. Threw him off. Came back his sophomore year and started. Got a scholarship to Carolina. I hadn't heard from him in years. He called me up. He goes, Coach. I was in there, and I said, see, I got his name. I had his name and number. I said, oh, Jesus, here we go. This ain't going to be pretty. But he called me up and he says, Coach, he said, I appreciate everything you did for me. I wanted to wish you happy Father's Day. He goes, you know, I didn't have a dad and you became a dad and blah, 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 blah. And he said, you told us this. And I learned this at Fair. One thing, playing there and coaching there, and carried it with me in coaching and at William and Mary with the academic, as stringent as it was, I would say, at Fairman and William and Mary, academically, athletically, you better take these words out of your dictionary or you will not make it on both ends. Try, can't, free, and easy. Those are the 4 words. If they're in your dictionary, you're going to flunk out at William and Mary, or you're going to walk off that field at Fair. You ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. You better get them out of your dictionary. I'm talking to myself as a player and as a student at William Mary and as a player at Fair. I tell people I went to Fair, which is the most physical. Hey, we used to scrimmage at halftime, Rick. We would scrimmage at halftime at Fair. It was our warm-ups were bull in the ring and arm circles, and then we, go practice. And at William Mary, it was so academically, it was just brutal. So I tell people I went to Fairham and I went to William Mary, and somewhere in between, I am a big-time mess. I got no clue who I am. But I used to tell him. And so he said, Coach, I raised my children on that philosophy that try, can't, free, and easy will not be tolerated in this house. And I said to myself, well, there you go. That's a whole lot better than I'm going to sue your ass.
Coach Stoney, what's the schedule now for you guys as you get ready to head into July, as you get cranked up, man? August is going to be here, man. My goodness gracious.
It's happening quick. Right now, believe it or not, I'm on vacation. So, this is a vacation week for us. We finished up most of our camps. We had a youth camp. We had a mega camp. We had a specialized quarterback camp, wide receivers, defensive back camp. So we're finishing up our camps, taking a reset moment here. I'm actually going down to Pinehurst here tomorrow.
All right.
Nice.
Play golf. He said, how long are you staying? I said, I'm taking 9 balls. I may be home. I'm leaving tomorrow. I may be home by Thursday.
Hey, there's no 10th ball, right? You lose that 9th one, you're gone.
When it's 10 cup, when Kevin Carter says, I need another ball, this is the last one, then I know this is the last one. I'm not going back into the pro shop. So when we get back, we're going to turn our attention to first 4 game study, things like that, and then we'll take about a week and get going on that, and then we'll turn all of our attention to August camp preparation, most of which is done, but we'll go back through it again, just making sure we're dialed in on the things that we need to be dialed in on, that the schedule meets the time, that we've got this thing. We've adjusted what we did last camp a little bit, and just going to go through that and start putting together teach tapes for our players in August, practice tapes, all those things. So there's work to be done, but as Coach Elmassian knows, once July 4th is over, you just know it's here. You can still say you got 3 weeks. You don't have 3 weeks. You're all dialed in. It's ready to go.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Brian, did you dip into North Carolina in recruiting? Did you get out of Greensboro or
it's just a great get. When I first got there, it's just me sitting in a room, so I didn't have anything. I'm like, what am I doing here? It's just, so one of the things I did look at is I looked at the demographics of just our school, and then I looked at the rosters of our baseball team, men's basketball, wrestling. And what I saw was that, wait a second, this Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, this looks pretty good. So we dove into there pretty good. We now have two of our coaches. Mitch, as you know, Mitch Ferrick, our offensive coordinator, he played at he played at Guilford, coached at Guilford, was a QC in North Carolina. So he had a great background in that part. So he's done a great job. DeRay Hicks has moved down in there as well, and even Tony Sprouted. So we've even put an even bigger emphasis into the Charlotte down to Greensboro and Raleigh, that whole area right there. And we have benefited from it a great deal. So it's kind of like
that. There's not many Division III programs in the state of North Carolina.
It's not. So we've been able to go against some of the Division II schools there and have some success. So
good.
It is something we've continued to place great value in, and when we place value in, we sacrifice time and personnel to get in there even deeper. And it's been a starting quarterback's going to be from there. Two of our offensive linemen. So Gavin,
good for you.
It's gone well. It's actually part of the footprint now. That's what I think.
It should
about.
be.
So it's now part of the footprint.
When I did that study for you when you first got there, when I studied the two deep at Rand, you asked me.
Yes.
Remember the Randolph-Macon, Hampton-Sydney, I don't know, maybe a couple of other schools, but the top teams in the ODAC. I did a two deep study from where they were coming from, and I was just shocked at the amount of North Carolina kids for Randolph-Macon, particularly in the two deep.
So that's where it started with. Yeah. That's where it started with what Coach Elmo did. I mean, we looked at that thing and he said, "Wait a second." And he said, "This is where you need it," because it wasn't part of the big radar scope for me when I first got there. And then Coach did that for me, and we started looking at this thing, and then we went down there, and we've had success. So now we got three coaches in different areas down there that it's become a home base for us, part of the footprint, right? So, and Coach Elmo got us started. We were. I mean, you look at our team, and then what Coach Elmo did, looking at the other teams in ODAC. So we got to go try to get our brand in that area as well.
I was wondering if you were able to not just follow up with that, but where that took you, because when I called Jeff Hansen, great friend of mine, great recruiter, not a good recruiter, a great recruiter. This guy's a bulldog. When we were at Richmond, we had players. We had some really good players that he got. So I called him up. I said, "Jeff, why does Randolph-Macon have all these kids?" He goes, "Phil, there's not many Division III schools in North Carolina. They got no place to go. I think there's only like one or two in the whole damn state. As opposed to the state of Virginia, there's you got to know that.
Every exit.
I mean, right. And it's it's competitive for the in-state kid, and picking your spots, and hopefully you can put your fence around that. And then they had kids from Southwest Virginia, which you lose a kid from Roanoke to Randolph-Macon. Now it's like losing two players, and now you got to play against him if he's worth a damn. So that's always win your border wars, as you well know. You know that better than anybody, in your recruiting experiences. But that's great. I'm glad to hear that.
That's awesome.
Like I said, we went from one guy down there to now we have three, and it's really benefited us, and appreciate your help on that, because I don't know that I would have, as early as we got started on it. And recruiting, you got to get in there first, and you got to build a name and build trust in recruiting. And we were able to do that to the point that it's been really beneficial to us. It really
Brian, have you seen one question I want to ask you, because I've heard this from the MAC guys that I know that are still in coaching. Because of the portal, I don't know if it's trickled down to Division III. Because of the portal, they were telling me guys in the MAC or in the Mountain West, they're able to at least talk to players they had not been able to talk to before, because there's less scholarships given to high school kids. There's more high school kids that these Power 5 guys, they can get on campus, because before they would have maybe been recruited by Power 4, but because of the portal, there's more scholarships. There's less scholarships available to the high school kids. Are you seeing that trickle down to your division or not? I know that you're not scholarship, but
Yeah, we're getting there's kids that have moved into Roanoke College. Christopher Newport that I keep a lot of tabs on because that's kind of who I studied when we were starting a football program because I thought Christopher Newport did a great job in their startup. And Matt was there and he gave me an open book, truthfully, to what they did. But you see guys transferring in. Christopher Newport's quarterback, Appy State's quarterback transferred back into Christopher Newport because he didn't have any game tape. Got a whole year of game tape and got signed a scholarship to Penn State. So you see this portal system works both ways here. Not to the standard of what we see in the power forward, those type things, but you do see a little trickle down because of it, and that's what I was alluding to earlier in our conversation. The high school coaches, the guys that Elmo, that have been doing it forever and know the recruiting as well as we do and understand it. They're like, I got a kid here that he references a guy that we took at Virginia Tech, and he said that's who it is. I can't get a sniff for him right now. So he's got to go somewhere, and it just starts moving down the ladder a little bit. And we've been able to benefit. I think there's some guys that I was going to say there's some guys at Roanoke College that play at a high level, but pretend like I didn't say that. Okay, I didn't say that.
That's right.
There are no more. That's it.
No, we don't have anybody. No.
One other thing, did you know? I went back. That kid from Radford that went to Elon, that's now at LSU.
Yeah,
I went back and watched that kid on high school tape, just like I did with the Carpenter kid from Roanoke Catholic when he was at Virginia, when he was at JMU. That Carpenter kid beat that center from Virginia so bad they moved him to guard the next week. Beat his ass so bad. So I said, I called Todd Grantham. I said, Todd, he was 6'2", 225 out of Roanoke Catholic. I told Todd, I said, that boy would have never walk on at JMU. We'd have scholarshiped his ass at Virginia Tech. That's not in hindsight. That's a fact. You know that, Brian. We'd have taken that kid.
Oh, I know. I know. I was at the University of Delaware trying to recruit him, and of course he went to JMU, and so now I had to try to figure out how to block the kid. Well, guess what? It didn't work out very well.
I'll tell you, I loved him out of high school. But how about the kid how did he get this? I watched him play. He's a big kid. I'd have made a safety or a linebacker out of the kid, if anything. Hey, remember we were sitting there at Fork Union? You were making a decision on Al quarterback.
Al Clark.
Al Clark. Remember we're on the field?
Yeah.
I told you, I said, Brian, if you don't take that boy, there's nobody on that field you need to offer. Just send that JV team home. I said, he's the best athlete on the field. I'll take him as a safety if you don't want him.
He was.
Right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Everybody missed on the kid from Bradford.
Not because I don't know. I'm at VMI. I'll offer him. I'm the only guy.
That doesn't surprise me. Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
And I said, we said around, I said, we're going to be able to get this kid? I said, they're going to screw this up. Everybody's going to screw this up. Just everybody be real quiet. Don't anybody say anything.
Talking about Landon Clark.
Yeah. I talking about Landon. I'd actually called him when he got the deal at LSU, and I called him, congratulated him. He said, well, Coach, I appreciate everything and all the support. I said, listen, you know that contract you got? I'm trying to build a weight room down here.
Attaboy.
But I mean, that's what you get to. I mean, I thought this kid's a no-brainer. And I've always said, I said, it's kind of like we said about Cam Chancellor because he's playing quarterback. I said, here's a great, hey, Coach Elmassian, this word. When was the last time you heard this word used in recruiting? Hey, the ability to project the kid.
Oh, geez.
I said, okay, Cam may not be a quarterback, but he's something. That's why you used to say it. That's why they call you coach. Figure it out. Take a talent guy, figure it out.
But he's
You
something.
know,
I like that. I like that.
And nobody
You know,
did it better than us. at Virginia Tech.
Atlanta Cardinals say last. Okay, let's just take quarterback. Let's just say maybe he's not a quarterback. He's something.
Something.
It's called safety.
Yeah.
You know, hey, okay. Hey, if you can't read the coverage, go. Hey, if you can't read the coverage, flip a field and make it go play one. Play a coverage.
That's the one criticism of the young coaches today. They got no clue, and they don't. They don't. And I'll tell you why I can say that with credibility. It's not because I get off my lawn, old school. I get, when I go down, I get asked to speak to staffs of evaluations and, how to evaluate, because that was one of my strengths, as you well know, and because of my junior college experiences more than anything. The projection, they look at the position off a highlight tape, and that's all they can see is the position, and they move on. Wait a minute. You mean kids playing tailback? Well, okay, maybe he can be a linebacker. Maybe, and that's what's missing today. And I think at your level now, you can have more fun in coaching because you can do that. You will do that because that's how you're going to be able to win games at the Division III level. You get to, just like at Ferrum. They may come, like Wayne Stennett comes in as a linebacker. Next thing you know, he's a starting center for Virginia Tech. And probably one of the best centers they've had at that time. Or my guy I talked about, Rock Berdoni, who nobody wanted. He was a linebacker type guy, DN, and next thing you know, he's the most decorated player in the history of Georgia Tech. And when you get your guys making first team all conference and whatever, and you never know, may get a shot in the league. You just never know. That's when the fun will begin.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the ability to project a little bit and to see, what kind of kid is he. Just because he plays tailback doesn't mean he's going to play tailback down the road. I mean, I got moved 3 times with James Madison in a week. I got started off with an 80 number with the 60. Hey, with the 58, didn't work the 60.
The numbers got bigger.
In 1 week. We hadn't even been in pads yet. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
So
the ultimate insult there now.
I think one of the I tell our staff, I say, okay, maybe he's not this at free safety, but he's a physical guy. Maybe he's this. Maybe he's a whip. Maybe that's that whip we're looking for. Maybe he gets bigger and because that whip becomes the backer. Brandon Simonis, right? Whatever it may be. But sometimes your answers, this is what gets lost in it. Sometimes the answers to your problem is on your roster, just may not be in that particular room.
No doubt.
Position room.
No doubt.
But if you look close enough, it probably is on your roster.
Yeah. You can find, you can turn over the rock within your roster before you get to the high schools.
Yeah,
that's cool. No doubt. Brian, I don't know. Did Bud keep this? Remember when I got to Virginia Tech? Because, you know me, my philosophy, you got depth, your first string wasn't worth a shit. I ain't worried about depth. Give me the first 11. We'll figure the depth out later on. I need 11 guys. Let's start with the first one. Okay. But I remember when the recruiting meetings, I brought a philosophy in there that made sense to me at the time, because the limitations in scholarships, no portal, no. And I said, look, he's got to be evaluated in 2 positions before he's getting offered on defense. And I don't know if Bud continued doing that down the road.
Oh, I do remember in all of our discussions, all of them. It seemed like, hey, I know he's a backer. He's a whip, could be a backer. He's a backer, could be, there's always the could be. Potential to be. He's in defense. He's going to put his hand down. He's going to go from standing up and making tackles to put your hand down and making tackles, right? So, it was always that position flexibility. The ability to project. Dwayne Brown from tight end to tackle. That worked out to about $8 million a year for him. So,
That's right.
David Cadella, another tight end from Fork Union. Again, it goes on and on. I mean, you sit there and look what Elmo did. I mean, we lost players. I mean, Coach Elmo was in the transfer portal long before this transfer portal ever started. I mean, we were doing that at Virginia Tech in 1993. I said, yeah, but Coach, you're right. We are in the transfer portal right here, but normally you bring some in.
but guess what? We get to find Killer Yarbrough and Scott Jones, two walk-ons.
Exactly. But I mean, Cornell went from a linebacker to defensive end. Lawrence Lewis, same thing. Hank Coleman, same thing, right? You just it goes back to his initial statement, not coach speak, facts. What can they do?
That's right.
And it changed all of them. It changed us. Changed their lives. Coach, I got to tell you quick because I usually again the other day. I remember everything this guy says.
Be careful. You're going to lose a bunch of.
He's going to start getting calls too.
This is a good story. This is a good story. So I'm sitting there. I go in and listen to Coach talking to the defense. We get ready to start the season. And he goes, I tell you guys one thing. I've been to a bowl game for 30 straight years, and I'm going to one this year. The question is whether you're going with me or not.
That first defensive meeting, I walked in there and said, I'm going to a bowl next year. I just hope I can bring your ass. And I'm going.
I was there. I said, I want to see what he does. I want to hear what he's telling his defense. I want to be a part of this. I said,
shit, I was spoiled. I just come from Syracuse off the Fiesta Bowl and the Hall of Fame Bowl. And we beat Colorado and Ohio State, and then in Virginia, the Sugar Bowl. I got spoiled. I'm entering a 3-win team with Dave Brain telling me, look, I got to fire Frank. If I fire him, I can't. You may not be here next year. I said, that's an incentive. It's like the burning ship there. So
hey, Coach Stein.
Jesus.
Hey, Coach Stein, before we let you go, real quick, how close was it between Mike Vick, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse? We had people talking about it earlier. Can you take us back? I know Dwight's talked about it.
There you go.
How difficult was that to get him out of that mindset to come to Blacksburg?
Oh, I think it was extremely difficult. I think because it's one of the best recruiting stories out there. And I appreciate Elmo bringing up, throwing me into my name in with the guys like Kavanaugh, Tom O'Brien, Danny Wilmer. Danny.
That's Greg Roberts.
When I was in high school, I was in high school 100 years ago. And I was fortunate to make it to the state wrestling meet as a senior. It's in Collinsville, Virginia. Theodore Collinsville High School. Not even there. You don't even know how to get there from here, right? It's a Saturday in January. And we're at a state wrestling tournament, and I look up at noon in Collinsville, and Danny Wilmer's sitting on the front row. And then, so when I became a coach, I started watching him recruit. I said, okay, you better be good, or he'll get you. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot from a lot of really good people. But great story. So there's the Michael Vick, Ronald Curry experience.
Yep.
All going on 10 blocks from one another, right? And so you could go to Food Line and I could come out there with a gallon of milk and some eggs, and the person at the counter says, how we doing with Ronald Curry? And that was
USA Today Player of the Year.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. 2 sports. So, alumni, everybody, okay, this is ground zero. Anyway, long story short, so we're like everybody else. You got Mike, you got Ronald, you got all these things going. And Jim Kavanaugh finally said, I don't know that we're going to get Ronald Curry. He came into my office. He says, I need your backing on this. It's Thursday. Elmo knows it's on Thursday mornings during the season. We go over the schedule, the travel, and then we go straight to board. He goes, Coach Beamer's going to open up that board, and he's going to go straight to quarterback, and he's going to ask this. And I said, yeah, what are you going to tell him? He said, I need your backing. He said, I'm going to tell him I don't think we can get Ronald Curry. But if we don't go all in on Michael Vick, we're not going to get him either. And I said, you go tell Coach Beamer? And so he said, I think we ought to just let everybody know we're not going to recruit Ronald Curry anymore, but we're going all in on Michael Vick. And I said, you go tell Coach Beamer that? He goes, yeah, I need your backing. I go, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So, you know, because Syracuse, I mean, they've gone all in. And then during that time, Mike and to this day, Mike and, the quarterback, help me, it's Syracuse, Donovan and Nab, they become close. Close. So this is not going to be easy as it is. So we went into the meeting. Sure enough, we went through the schedule. Coach goes up there and rolls the board back and says, tell me about the quarterback spot. And Cab didn't blink. He didn't blink. And I remember Coach Beamer walking away from the board, rolling, getting in his chair, leaning back, taking his glasses off. He says, call Tommy Raymond. Tell him we're all in on Mike. That's who we're going to try to get. And it changed the complexion of the game. So decisions in the recruiting, I thought that was as good, as well thought out. But it wasn't. We had work to do. I mean, but if it hadn't been for that piece, it would have gotten extremely difficult. So,
you know, Jim Kavanaugh was a pain in my ass. I was at the University of Virginia. We beat North Carolina 4 straight years in a row, and I'm talking about, and had really no business doing it a couple of years because they got the better talent. I had never, and I hate that word, but I never beat him in recruiting for a kid. Never. Carolina don't even have a winning season, and he's getting Henderson, and there's this other receiver from Huguenot, great receiver. Here we are in Virginia. We're going to the Sugar Bowl, the Citrus Bowl. We took second place in the ACC and won the damn thing, and they're going to Carolina in a losing program. And that was because of Kavanaugh, because he turned the rocks over. I thought I worked hard at it, but every time I walked into a home and I saw him walking, I go, I ain't getting this kid. So I mean, he's just diligent. I mean, he was organized and diligent, diligent. So there's one young man called, I can't remember the name. I just know he calls. We're on the office, and really, it's a downtime for us. You don't have to be on the road. We're just kind of still going through the season, and he gets a call. He said the head coach called at the school and said, "Hey, Elmo's getting ready to take another visit." But Cal says he's already committed to us. Oh, but he wants to take another visit. Well, he can't do that. He can't do that. So Cav comes down there in a huff. You know, I said, well, have you called the kid yet? He said, call him. I'm going to the car. I'm driving down. he's going to Hampton on a Thursday. Call him. Call him. I'm on my way. He just walked right out the office. He didn't even call the kid. Just boop. He was 3.5 hours later. Here I am. The kid never took a visit, though. He did not go on another visit, though. How about that?
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what.
Well, hey, I'm gonna come up and see you in the preseason if you don't mind.
I would hope so. We need you there. Our coaches love it. They enjoy it. The players enjoy it. It's a good experience for everybody. I love having you there. So we're just I can't wait. I still get people says, you still get excited? Hey, if I'm not excited, I'm gonna be on the. Hey, I'm at my parents' home. I was on the Calpasas River, almost. Just so you know.
Oh no! Oh jeez.
Just so you know.
Were they
not good? But it really didn't matter, does it? It really doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Hey, I go down the New River. I go down the New River at Parrott, and there's 3 to 5 pounders in there. I got a 0x tippet on my fly line, and I let that fly go down to the glide, and just right before the next one over the rock, next thing you know, that damn thing, it snapped that tippet. I was so pissed off. I'm gonna go back and get that sucker. It's gonna be there. With that other fly, I want that fly. It's still in its mouth.
I don't know what time you're. Coach Cav and I, Elmo and I, we got to come on to Clifton. We're on this orange and maroon tour. They got one in Clifton, Covington. They combine. It's actually a really good event. Really good.
It's hometown.
I said, Elmo, we're gonna go home. We're gonna fish the Calpasas River. He goes,
oh yeah,
I'm in. I said, well, you go speak with me. He goes, yeah, I'm in. So we're on the Calpasas River. Now we got to be there at 6:30. Well, on the Calpasas River, it starts to get a little bit. The sun starts to go down.
They're popping up, baby. They're popping up.
I come around the top. I'm looking. I said, I know we're going to be late for this thing. There's no way we're going to make it on time. We got to go back to my parents' house with it, which at that one time had one shower, right?
One bathroom.
One bathroom, one shower. So anyway, I come around the last turn, and it's a long stretch now. Flat one, and I see those fish. I see them popping on the top. I go, "Oh God, we're never going to make it." So finally, I look. He's yanking them out of the water left. I'm like, "Oh God!" So finally, I said, and I'm nervous. I'm just in my first year as a full-time coach. I'm on a day-to-day basis right now. You know, okay. So I said, Coach. He goes, yes. I said, we're going to be late. We need to get going here. He goes, he's winding it up. He goes, big boy. I go, yeah, one thing I need to tell you. He goes, what's that? He goes, they can't start without us.
As he's casting.
I know. I said, Brian, big boy, they cannot start without us.
They cannot start. We'll be all right. Okay, we're good. Keep on. Hey, I appreciate you having us on. As you can tell, he and I can do this all day long. So.
I know, man. I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
Give your staff my best. I love your staff. I love what you're doing. I'm
so
proud of you. And you're in a great place at the time in your career. Don't forget everybody I've talked to. I know the money's big in all those Division I programs, but they're miserable son of the bitches in that coaching right now. I ain't talked to any one of them, whether they got coordinators titles or whatever. The guys that I were either GAs for me or mentored in my career with them, they hate it. The month of June is an absolute. They can't juggle the balls. They can't. They just got stupid. It is an absolute. Hey, when Nick Saban got out, that better be a message to everybody.
There's no doubt. No.
And I'm just telling you, it's so you're in a great place. I know you know that. And,
I do know that. I'm blessed, and I'm enjoying this ride. I'm going to enjoy.
Call me if I can do anything. You want me to look at a kid or something? You know that.
You know I do always. Absolutely,
all right, buddy.
Thanks, man. We'll be in touch soon, Coach, as you get closer to the season, man.
Sounds great.
Right.
Appreciate it.
See you in a couple of weeks, Rick.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. All right, Coach. Have a great rest of your vacation, Coach Stoney. There you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
Be good, man. Awesome. Yeah, hey, Coach, we'll see you on the 18th. Yeah, you'll see everybody on the 18th.
I'm looking for. Hey, did I put the pressure on Jen or what? Huh?
You did.
I felt bad. I gave her the coaching point. Hey, ain't no trying in this business.
No trying. Get it done.
Ass up there.
Get it done. I'm so happy for Coach Stoney, man. He's done a great job. He's going to continue to do a great job. You can just
awesome. It's like
That's
anything else. For Roanoke College, and you think about it. First of all, the city of Salem, like Pulaski used to be, at least. You talk about embracing all athletics.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I remember when I watched Salem High School play Liberty Lynchburg Christian in the opener about 2 or 3 years ago. They had all those great players.
Yeah, a bunch of Division I guys. Yeah.
Yeah, they had like 3 or 4 of them on the field. I think it was 3 years ago. And I went down to the field and got to see the head coaches and the athletic director. I met him. I can't remember his name now. I feel bad. But I walked on the field. I said, how long you been the AD here? He goes, oh, just a couple of years. He said, they shared with me about his interview. And you talk about, you think about this, Rick, in terms of high school football and their fields. He said he goes on the interview and he's with the, whoever is going to do the hiring, superintendent, whatever. And they walk on the football field. He goes, what do you notice about this field? And the AD goes, he's looking at his football field. And then he goes, there's no soccer lines on this football field. This is strictly for football. Lacrosse ain't playing here. Soccer ain't playing here. He goes, all the lines on that field are football. That's how important this program is to this community.
100%. Yeah.
Rick, think about that.
Yeah, that's right. It's a great point.
And I'll tell you, you talk about a community, even going back to the Eddie Joyce days in the 60s, it's been like this for decades, the support. So next thing you know, when Roanoke College decided to have football, I went, oh my God. I will tell you right now, I really believe Ferrum, that's one of the reasons Ferrum got out of the ODAC. They're not going to be able to compete with Roanoke.
Yeah, right. Right.
Averitt, Ferrum, Hampton, Sydney, they ain't going to be happy campers on this one. The campus is absolutely, it's a big time campus.
It really is. It is. Roanoke, yeah, it is.
In a place, they had the third highest attendance in all Division III football this year, Rick. The first year having a full-time schedule. The support that they get. And think about this. What's the most beautiful time of the year is the fall. So at least gives the alumni, basketball, all due respects for basketball and lacrosse. But these are, it ain't played in the fall.
Yep. And the mountains all around that stadium. Yep.
Yeah. The mountains and the weekends spent in, tailgating and you couldn't ask for, you could not have found a better guy to put your trust and hands and responsibility into doing this than Brian Steinsman. There'd be 100%. Nobody better. Nobody.
100%.
Nobody.
100%. Yeah.
I guarantee you James Franklin couldn't do that job.
No, it takes a special guy, and he has embraced it, and they're going to be even better this year. Yeah. They're going to be even better this year, I think. So
I'm so proud of him, Rick, and thanks for having us on.
No, it was great, man. I just loved it. That was great. I loved it.
Like I said, I hope I don't take up too much oxygen.
No, he just lets you guys roll, man. That's what it's all about, brother. That's what it's all about.
We're looking forward to coming up there Saturday. I'm going to leave early Saturday morning, and we'll stay at the Highlander.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks out. It'll be the 18th.
All right, Rick. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.
I'm sure we'll see you later in the week, Coach.
Cool.
All right, Coach Elmo. How much fun was that, man? That was great. That was great. Thanks to Coach Steinspring and Coach Elmo. Just let them cook, baby. Just let them go. I want to thank Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hundley, 155 Walters Drive. Our chat room's always just popping, man. Great stuff, as always, from all those wonderful folks. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. We're going to try to get Jonathan on with us this week, get an update on everything going on with the Sportsplex. It's getting close now, going into July. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Get your units checked on. Our BDST fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trusts and Estate Planning. National Bank, member FDIC, exclusive banking partner for yours truly and this program. Travis Williams about to start year 40. Well, not him, but his business that his dad started, Professional Door Incorporated. And we got some great news to help you, the consumer, coming up for your garage door maintenance and updating through Professional Door. ReadySetFund.com. That is Bob Christ, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Reach out how a series of text messages can help your organization, school group, whatever, raise money quickly. Sundown Electric, one of the best reputations of any business in our region, down in Elliston. Superior craftsmanship, attention to detail, clear communication, honest And they also try to keep prices down as much as possible. Our bash that Coach Elmo referenced is going to take place at the NRB Super Bowl, 540-382-5525. Can't wait for that. July 18th. They've got the weekend Midnight Madness. They just had a great backpack program on Saturday, always giving back to the community. And we thank those folks. Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 540-301-8011 at 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Great folks. Great folks. Yeah, just get out of the way and let those guys go. It's awesome. And so much history that pertains to all of us here in the NRV and so forth in our sports fanship. And Coach Steiny right there, Coach Elmo right there in the middle of the beginning, the origins, and then Coach Steinspring stayed on for the endurance of the amazing era that became Virginia Tech football under Frank Beamer. It's an incredible story that I still think needs to be told in a little more further detail than it has been, to be honest. But he's doing a great job. Great story there. I love that whole image. I can just, as Steiny was telling it, you could just see him out there wading in the river. The fish are popping. Coach Elmo, as he throws out his line, they can't start without us, Coach. That's great. That, well, you, the audience, but that kind of thing right there is why I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. That opportunity, you never know when an opportunity like that's going to happen. And that right there was just, it makes it all worth it. We'll think about that throughout the day. I know I will. I'll think about some of the things. I'll chuckle. But getting back to Landon Clark, by the way, Landon Clark, Radford High School, just killed it at Elon. We said this. He came on the show after their state championship along with Coach Michael Chris. And when he got off the air, he said something like, my journey is just beginning. I understand I may not be able to jump into my journey 2 feet in, but I'm willing to do what it takes. He went to Elon. He made the most of it. And now Landon Clark, out of the spring, has a shot to be the starting quarterback at LSU for Lane Kiffin. Let that sink in a little bit about a guy who just works and works and works and let his natural ability, of course, play through. We're pulling like heck for Landon. Love to get him on the program again. You know, now it's a little more difficult, obviously, with contracts and with pay for play, and you're dealing with an SEC school. I'll reach out. I'll try. But he's got a real shot to win that job down in Baton Rouge. Yeah, that's great, Wayne. It did pour through, didn't it? The immense amount of respect. I mean, no matter what we see change in the metrics of college athletics, money, whatever it might be, today's era to opposed to that era, doesn't matter. You've got to have that, what each of those two guys have. And that's what I'm hoping develops with James Franklin's first staff. You got to have guys that have what they have. You got to have what Coach Kavanaugh had. We'll see if that materializes. The fun of it, the enjoyment, the love of it has to be a big part of it. It's why it's basically, you heard Coach Grantham. Guy's been at 4 different places in the SEC, 5, I guess. Been in the NFL, several. You chose UAB because you know what? It's more of that basic coaching vibe. Get away from the pressures of always having to have a checkbook in your hand. Love it, man. Love it. Love it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We pull like heck for him. I hope he does a great job and builds that thing up to where he wants it. Let's put it this way. Roanoke's going to be successful if they get up to the level that he sees it, then Roanoke's going to be thriving for years because I know he has very high expectations. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. But any event, that was a lot of fun. Tomorrow, Marva I believe Brian Siegel and Mike Burnip, I know, scheduled for Tuesday. In our 4th of July week, I will do a show on Friday. I don't know what our guest list is going to look like. I hope I can get Mike Ashley. I know Will's done for the month because he's traveling a lot, and Jen is out this week. So we'll figure out something. It's okay. I'm sure I can give Coach Elmo a call. Maybe he'd jump on too on Friday. But we'll figure something out. But we'll be here all week doing the program. But great start to the week having those gentlemen here. Don't forget about the bash on the 18th. I hope people can come out. Even if you can't stay a long time, come say hi. It's going to start around 6 o'clock. Thanks to Morris. We've already got it booked. We're arranged. We're ready to rock and roll. We'll bowl a little bit. Just have some BDST fellowship. I hope everybody can come out and say, hey, I don't know who all will be there in terms of our contributors. We're trying to get people to come out. Hopefully it works out that week. I know Coach Elmo will be there. Nothing else. We know Coach Elmo will be there. So we're looking forward to that. And I'm hoping Jen can make it as well. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Good stuff. Good stuff. But nonetheless, it'll be fun. And we won't be there overly late. Start at 6. I'm thinking maybe 9 o'clock. I don't know. We'll see how it's going. If you're having such a great time too, and they're not overly busy, we just hang out and whatever face it takes, we're fine with. On July 18th. So great stuff. Great stuff. But thanks again to our sponsors. Thanks to Coach Steinspring and to Coach Elmo. We'll get in. I got some text messages too regarding the World Cup. I'll address those tomorrow. But I will say this, you're allowed to have an opinion about things. It doesn't mean you necessarily hate things. I don't have any hate for the World Cup. I don't have any hate for soccer. But I think I won't say most even to this day, but a lot of Americans feel the same way. We look at soccer like a lot of the international fans look at American football. You may appreciate it. You may like it. You may even buy a jersey, but it's not going to be your core sport of your country, right? American football is not going to be the core sport at any country that they're going to be visiting this year to play games. None. They don't care. They're just trying to make more money. Soccer, we're hosting the World Cup. It's not ever going to be this country's core sport. That's okay. It doesn't mean there's not an appreciation. People immediately try to attach when you say you don't like something or maybe you like this better. They immediately go to, well, you're a hater. I can't stand that crap. No, it doesn't mean that at all. If you have a criticism, you got something that concerns you, you're able to orate that. It doesn't mean you're a hater. This is how you feel about it. If I end up being wrong, I'm wrong. If that's how you feel about it, that's how you feel about it. It doesn't make you a hater. A hater is going out and criticizing somebody just because you don't like them. That's a hater, or because of your politics. But that's just a fact. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. It's great that the World Cup's here. It's great that all these nations, and by the way, have you heard how these other nations are talking about America, how much they love it here? We're about to celebrate our 250th anniversary. It's great to see the rest of the world showing an appreciation for this country. I just sure hope to hell that many people in this country that are dead set to not have that appreciation. I hope they don't decide to make that their plan coming up. It's okay not to like things. That's what makes us all different. Great stuff, everybody. We'll have shorts from today's show. You don't want to miss the Coach Elmo and Steiny shorts. That'll show up on the website a little bit later. Enjoy your Monday. Hope we make your day off to a good start. Thanks for stepping by. You're damn right, Prometheus. Not even close. Just listen to some of these other players. Listen to what they're saying about the United States. Everybody take care. We'll see you tomorrow on the Tuesday edition.